Welcome back to the Asylum. I'm Kane.
I'm Jasean.
And we are the Arkham Inmates. And today, happy Friday once again. It is another Fancast Friday. If you haven't watched any of these, then you need to go back and watch all the really good ones. You know, we have some great fucking ones, and this is going to be a great one as well. So, we're going to get right into it. We are Fancasting today for Thor. There's no other name. Is there any other name with it? Is it just Thor? The Almighty Thor? Or Thor's Mightiest Avenger? I never think, because they have Incredible Hulk, the Invincible Iron Man. I don't remember if they had, I think it's just Thor. The Invincible Thor? No. I thought it was maybe the Mighty Thor. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of comments.
I think it is Mighty Thor.
I think the Mighty Thor or something. But yeah, we are going to be fan casting for Thor. If you don't know how this goes, we have a bunch of others in the playlist. Make sure you fucking check them out. But let's get right into it. Alright, so we're going to get into my story. I go first, Jasean goes second. You already know how this goes. If you don't, you're missing out. Go watch the other fucking videos. But for my Thor movie, mine is called Thor, Mischief and Mockery. Here is my story. Thor is partying at his huge 257th birthday party with him and all his Asgardian friends, when Loki walks in and hands Thor a present. Thor quickly opens it up, excited to see what his brother has gotten him. He opens the box to surprise there is nothing inside. His brother chuckles and goes, "Oh well, I must have forgotten it." Thor laughs loudly and sets the box next down to Mjolnir at his feet. After the party is over, he calls Mjolnir, but nothing comes to his hand. Confused, he starts to look around for his hammer, but can't seem to find it anywhere. Loki then walks in holding Mjolnir in his hand. "You know, this is actually lighter than I thought." Thor, looking shocked, asks him how he's able to pick it up. Loki replies with a snide chuckle and throws Mjolnir at Thor, hitting him right in the chest and returning to Loki's hand. "You're nothing without your hammer, brother, and now I'll be the son that Odin chooses to rule." How is Loki able to lift the hammer, and will Thor defeat his brother in the hammer before Odin finds out?
Okay.
So this is very okay. So the reason I said 257th birthday is a play on how old he is, but this is like their 18th birthday. They're teenagers, so it's just playing on that because during Endgame, Thor is about 1,500 years old.
Easy, Sammy the Sprinkler.
You're a bitch.
That's like the third one in a row.
All right, so the main villain is Loki. Just keeping it simple.
I just have one critique.
What?
How? Because this is a movie.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just like one long fight. Because he has
no.
his party.
Okay, so I kind of didn't want to explain it just because I kind of wanted to be vague. But so the box he has is enchanted. So he sets down the box to Mjolnir. It's kind of like Pandora's box. Mjolnir's sucked in, right? And it's a fake Mjolnir. So Loki has a fake hammer. It's not really Mjolnir. So he's using it to basically get one up on Thor and make Thor be like, "I'm fucking useless." You know how in the first Thor movie he's like, "I'm useless without my hammer," and he just becomes like, "All right, whatever," and he only gets it back because he feels like he's not worthy. So Loki is manipulating him to be like, "You're not worthy anymore," because when in the movie, right, this is explaining it a lot, it just wouldn't fit the minute, but in the movie, Thor would like try to pick up Loki's hammer and it'd be kind of that play. So now he's like, "I'm no longer worthy, I'm not the good son anymore."
I understand all that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, when you opening scene,
yeah,
everyone, it's kind of like Thor, the first Thor movie. You're in Asgard. It's his inauguration or whatever.
He's at his party.
Yeah, his party. You're at your party, and then it's just one long fight from the middle to the end.
No. So it's more of a power dynamic. So it starts off with the party. The party's going to be the first like 20 minutes. It's setting everyone up. He's partying, all this stuff. Then he gets the present, and then we see it set down next to his foot. And then Loki just leaves. You know, he's just part of the party. We see the rest of the party. Then it goes to him trying to find it. He'll look for it for a good like 5 minutes. And then Loki is going to come in after he can't find it, and he's going to be holding it. Then it's going to be a quarrel back and forth. Then it's kind of like a brotherly thing. He throws it at his brother, and Thor's like, "What the fuck was that for? Like, how do you have this?" And he's just like, then it would go into that, it's not really a fight, it would go into, like, Loki would, like, set it down and be like, "Go ahead, brother." Like, he would manipulate, he'd fuck with him. And then the whole movie is him trying to figure out how Loki did this, where did that box go, can he get Mjolnir, like, can he get his hammer back, instead of him tricking Odin and being like, Thor is not...
But it's a consistent back and forth between the two, whether it's fighting or not.
And then Loki goes to Odin. And so he's trying to... It's because Loki's going to trick Odin and being like, "Your son's not worthy anymore." So if he's not worthy for this hammer that you bestowed this enchantment on, but I should be the new ruler of Asgard. Because Odin always gives the throne to Thor. Yeah. That's why Loki's upset. So I kind of wanted to play on that. But I wanted to keep it vague because I can't really say that in a minute. So that's more of what the explanation of what the movie is. Now, to be fair, I wrote that, and I really don't like it. I just couldn't really think of a Thor movie that hasn't really been done. Like, I was gonna do Thor versus Hercules, but I just kind of, I don't know.
Coming out.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't really know what to do with that. And maybe Thor versus Zeus, but we kind of got that. And then, like, Thor versus who? Hela, we already got, like, I kind of was like, I wanted to do something fresh and new. I also wanted to change the dynamic. I wanted younger Thor and Loki. I didn't want, like, some old dudes. I wanted, like, a teenager type thing. I wanted, like, an angsty movie of, like, brotherly sibling, you know, a sibling rivalry.
Scared the living shit out of me. And then they're just fighting.
Yeah. That would be a sick song. That'd be like a James Gunn fucking thing right there. So the main villain is Loki. Cameos is Heimdall, Odin, Freya, Volstagg, Fandral, and Hogun. So just everyone around the party, everyone that's just there, that's just in the movie.
What was their names? Lady Sif and the Warriors 3.
Yeah, which is Volstagg, Fandral, and Hogun.
That's
I don't have Lady Sif, though.
Oh, you're a pussy.
I totally forgot about her. Being honest, until you just said that, I just knew the Warriors 3, which were the 3 dudes. Until you said Lady Sif.
And she has her own title.
Yeah.
Shit
Until
too.
you said that, forgot about her.
He does not like women. Lady
that's
Sif and the
true.
Warrior 3. But I only remember the Warrior 3. I don't remember the specific name that stands out in that group of...
Lady Bitch in the Warrior 3.
The lady who's supposed to be making my sandwich and those 3 men that are going to go fight for me.
Kitchen appliance in the Weapon 3. So the cast, Thor, I think... Okay, you might not like any of these. But I you know, we'll see. Thor... I had to rewrite his name. Thor is going to be Jacob Elordi, which is the dude from Euphoria.
I know who you're talking about. Ew! I don't like that.
Well, the way he looks regularly does not look like Thor, but I feel like he could pull off that teenage, just big-looking Thor with, like, the gold wig, you know, like, I feel like he could do it. You know, I really think he's a really good actor. Him as Presley, but also him as, he's in something else on Euphoria I saw, and he's just a really good actor. I think he could play a Thor. Loki is going to be, I think you'll like this, Timothée Chalamet.
Ew! I don't like that, King.
Are you going to do that every time I say that?
No, dude, but I just don't like that one. That's not a good pick.
I think it's a great pick. Timothée Chalamet is a scrawny-looking dude. He's got the face for it, and I think he looks like a young Tom Hiddleston. I'm not lying. He looks like a young Tom Hiddleston for me. Heimdall, Forrest Whitaker. I wanted an old Heimdall.
Forrest Whitaker.
Black Panther. He's one of the main tribes dude that gives him the purple flower.
Oh,
the one with the eye.
Oh, okay.
The one with the eye.
Ew, that guy? I know who you're fucking talking about, dude. Come on.
I walked into that one, you motherfucker. I wanted an old, like, an old wise Heimdall. Odin, I have Bryan Cranston. I thought you'd really like that one.
Dude, does anybody want some meth? The Allfather has meth.
I see him as a very stern Odin. I could really see Bryan Cranston as a nice Odin. As his wife Freya, Nicole Kidman, keeping it a very great actress. Now these are the cameos of the Volstagg, Fandral, and Hogun. So Volstagg, I have Michael Gandolfini, or the guy from Penguin, Soprano's son. I could see him. He's just a bigger dude, and I think he could fit that role of a teenage Volstagg. Fandral, which is more, he looks like the Green Arrow looking dude. I have Alexander Ludwig.
Did you say from the Penguin?
Yeah. The Penguin looking dude.
Oh, I thought you said like from the TV show.
No, the Penguin looking dude from Daredevil.
Like, what are you talking
Sopranos
about?
kid.
Yeah,
but he looks like the Penguin. Like he that's what he looks like. Fandral, Alexander Ludwig. The guy that you picked for.
Oh yeah.
He just looks like that. I could really see him like that. And then Hogun, I have Ryan Potter, which is the guy that plays Beast Boy in Titans.
Yep.
I could just see, just being a secondary character. But yeah, that's mine. All right, so let's see what Jasean has in store. All right, we're gonna get into Sean's Thor movie.
Mine is based off my favorite comic book of Thor.
Okay.
It's called.
Oh, so you're bringing adaptation. You're doing an adaptation.
I adaptationed it, but I switched it a little bit.
Okay, cool.
It's called Ask Me Tomorrow. So Thor, Ask Me Tomorrow. Thor returns to Midgard after another war with the Dark Elves. He's weary, spiritually adrift, seeking reconnection with humanity. Thor comes to a small town visiting the people and places he once blessed. Old friends now aged, and people that remember him as a legend, a god. The crops in this town are not doing so well, so Thor raises Stormbreaker and brings rain. Afterwards, he meets a priest who has an identity crisis with his own religion because of Thor's existence alone. This deeply upsets Thor that the priest feels this way, so he goes on a journey through the cosmos trying to figure out why he was born and tells the priest, "I'll come back in 1 year with answers for you." 4 years pass on his journey through the cosmos, and the priest is on his deathbed. Thor comes back and tells the priest, "I'm sorry for the wait, but I have no answers. But for now, just close your eyes, and for your questions, just ask me tomorrow."
Solid. Fucking solid. I do know the comic you're talking about because I remember you were.
Me and you've had a conversation about it.
Yeah, we've had a conversation, but I think the first time we talked about it, you texted me because you were like, "Bro," because I think you saw a panel.
I did.
And you sent it to me, and you're like, "Bro, I just read this comic. This is one of my favorite Thor moments."
Yep.
And it was of that dude, like, because he was Christian, right?
He was Catholic.
So he believed in Jesus and God. But then when he realizes that Thor is a god, he's like, if you exist and the Norse gods exist, then what the fuck is real religion?
And then when he's on his deathbed, it's like even more. And then Thor's like, just, you believe in what you believe in?
Yeah. Ask me tomorrow.
Ask me, because he's going to die.
Because he knows he's going to die. And he's going to go wherever he goes. Yeah. But it's one of those things where it is such a great, it's so human to question things like that. It's like, I mean, honestly, like, we're not religious at all.
I'm very religious.
So, no, you're not.
Snow Bunny heaven.
Jesus Christ. We have our own what we believe in, blah blah blah. None of that matters here. We're a superhero channel. But just to go into that, it's a very strong. It is such a strong thing for someone to give you unrefutable proof of something you don't believe in.
Yeah.
So like. Even like something as simple as ghosts, maybe not religion, like ghosts. There's tons of people that ghosts will not exist, but then
fucking
like,
Casper comes out of nowhere. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then you see something you cannot explain, and then you're like, those people are changed forever. Those people are like now.
But
they're
it's not even like seeing something like you can't explain. It's like literally Casper comes through a wall and is looking at you and is like, "What's up, bro?"
Or like when let's say someone dies and then you see them in your room and they're like, "Hey, I'm real. I'm going to heaven or whatever. Like I love you and bye." You're never gonna be the same because now you're like, I've been ignorant to this whole world. So I love how Thor. Even though he's literally a god of men.
All he did was come to the village and bring rain for their crops. And this guy,
I love those.
It
like
just
that.
completely.
It also reminds me. I love when Africa is drying up and Storm fucking brings. I love moments when X-Men do it a lot. Yeah. But I love that Thor where he's like, bring rain. But you changed it a little bit. Yeah. Because I didn't know where you were going with that crop thing, but it reminded me of Storm. That's why I was like, that's sweet. Okay, we're going to get like a nice movie. But then you start talking about the priest, and I was like, that's so good.
Just him seeing him do that act was like, what?
Well,
that's such a
he's
godly
literally
thing.
like, I'm looking at a god. Yeah. So what is my god? And you don't even have to, it doesn't even have to be a religious movie. Yeah, it's just a movie of questions. Mm-hmm. And Thor, what's so good about that, right, is that I love, and I will give Love and Thunder this. Love and Thunder is not a good Thor movie. It's a solid 6. But I love when he goes to ask the gods, and even though Thor is, we all know him from the Avengers, he's like the dumb, brooding Viking. Mm-hmm. But like in the room full of gods, he's the most sane one. They're all a bunch of pussies. They're all a bunch of cowards. No one fucking cares, you know? Mm-hmm. So I love that in your movie. Like, someone is just as minuscule as humans. Thor is just like, he's more connected with that. I really love that. So,
and I also did the thing where after a long war, he's like, I need to come back.
I need to go to Midgard. You know, I love that. So I don't mean to rant, but I love that comic. I really do. When you say that,
my cast is my.
So there really is no villain.
Yeah,
so
no.
this is more of like a spiritual movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
My cameo.
I don't mean to be mean. What if your main villain? God. Jesus.
Cameos are Lady Sif and Odin.
Okay.
For Lady Sif, I'd want Anya Kultura.
I don't know who that is.
You remember Witcher, the TV show?
Yeah, with Cavill, right?
Yeah, with Cavill, the main chick that's like his chick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For Lady
Cool.
Sif.
Yeah, I can see that.
Odin, Gary Oldman. He's already so fucking old.
I was thinking that. Dude, Gary Oldman is just the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted an older one, though, and I think Bryan Cranston is really serious. So I like that Walter White Odin of that. Like, you know, when Anthony Hopkins, when they improv that, and then Loki was like, whoa, like Tom Hiddleston. I feel like Bryan can bring that, too. Yeah. But also Gary Oldman, God, like Dracula, fucking... I could see him as a sick Odin.
For Thor, I have Chris Tucker. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I was like, I could not believe you. Holy shit.
For Thor,
hey man,
I have Chris Hemsworth because I want him in a movie like this.
So you're keeping it MCU.
Only because I want him to see in a serious Thor role.
You know
like
what
that.
I also like? When I was picking a different Thor, it was so hard. I think just like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth is
you can't
Thor.
really.
No,
yeah.
the only other one would be Liam Hemsworth, like one of the Hemsworths.
Yeah.
But literally, like the voice,
Yeah.
the stature, just like it's perfect casting.
Yeah.
Like there's like Marvel does, they're very well with casting. Like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. No one else could be Deadpool. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I just can't see it. Chris Hemsworth is he just is Thor. So I really struggled with that. That's why I made mine kind of younger so I could play around with it. But no one else is Thor. I couldn't find anyone else. So I think also having Chris Hemsworth be that man to find that priest some solace.
In such a serious movie, because
Right.
I want redemption.
He wants it too.
Yeah.
Like he even said that the next Thor movie will not do it if he reads the screenplay
and it's a parody.
He won't do it.
And for the priest, I wanted someone old who could like really
Right.
Patrick Stewart. Let's imagine him on a deathbed, just like question.
Yes.
I would be.
Yes. And dude, GOAT actor.
Yeah.
One of the best of all time.
We got him for a few more years.
So your cast is tiny.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause
3 or
it's
4
mainly-
people.
It's 4. It's mainly him traveling through the cosmos, like the priest. You know what I mean?
So he
'Cause
wouldn't
you could
meet
do,
anybody
like
in the
villagers.
cosmos?
Like he would mainly just be
Like any other
talking.
gods?
He could.
Because
but-
he's in the comic, he looks for God,
Yeah.
right? He looks for, well, Jesus or... I didn't read the comic, but you did. So did he look for God or Jesus?
Well, first he talked to Sif.
Yeah.
And Sif told him, what do you know right now as an answer? Because he was thinking about it for 1 year. And she said, go talk to him and give him an answer is no. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like I couldn't
So
find
that's-
your God.
That's what he did. And then he said he'd return again. And then he traveled through...
Like all the gods, like Egyptian gods.
Yeah,
like
he
you said,
was-
he went to everybody. Go Norse, like Greek. Like he found every god possible and he could not find the God.
Well, it was more so an
Jesus.
answer. He was looking just for an answer to give this guy, less than
Of
finding-
heaven, you know, of what he believed in. Like, is everything
Yeah.
he believed in a facade?
So,
But he couldn't find
But he
anything.
couldn't find anything. So then he came back later than he told the guy he would, which was 4 years. And now he found out the dude was on his deathbed.
Right.
He brings a potion from Asgard that will ease him, gives it to him, tells him drink it, and they have a little conversation. Then he's, I don't know what to do. What do I believe? I'm about to die. He's just, anything you gotta ask me, you ask me tomorrow. And you just take a breather and you believe in what you believe in for right now.
Yeah, great. I would love to watch it. Yeah, I honestly, I usually at the end of these, I say, but will it beat mine? I'm gonna go see your movie, honestly, but will it beat mine? All right, so you've heard both of our Thor movies. You've heard mine, Thor, Mischief, and Mockery.
In mine, Thor, Ask Me Tomorrow.
Which one would you rather go see? If you only had one Mjolnir and he had to throw it in the direction of the theater you had to go see, his or mine, which one would you go see? I might wave the white flag here. Mine is more of a fun little sibling rivalry. I can't even say it. Can you say it? Sibling.
Rivalry.
Yeah. Movie. His is. God, I want to see yours. Like that. When he showed me that comic, that's
If you
such a
wanna
great
see
story.
mine, that's all you had to say, brother.
Okay. Let us know which one you would rather see though. Would you rather see like, more of a Mischief stuff and more? Do you like the Love and Thunder Thor? Or do you like him being kind of a joke, or do you like a really strong Viking, more of a humanity type
God
god?
of Thunder.
Yeah, which one would you rather see? So, but that's it for our, Fancast Friday. Make sure you like, subscribe, everything down below, and we thank you so much for being one of the inmates here at the asylum. Peace. God, it's rude.